I am redoing this from the original script with some date modifications. My name is Tabitha Davies. I am a dog trainer and behavior consultant and co-director of a nonprofit farm sanctuary here in Sky Valley, California. I'm a farmer. And a couple months ago, I started digging and searching and to understand why it seemed that without board authorization, there was an attempt to divest our water system, ID8, from the Coachella Valley Water District and hand it off to Mission Springs Water District. So as I went down that rabbit hole, I started finding little threads of information, things that didn't make any sense, but things that I needed to pull on to learn more to understand what was happening for my area. I thought it was my area. So I finally found out what those missing threads led to last week. And here is what I need everyone in the Coachella Valley and the high desert to understand. So let me tell you about a company called Cadiz, C-A-D-I-Z. In 1983, a British man named Keith Brockpool had just been charged for dealing in insecurities without a license. He then came to the United States, as all good colonizers do. He even was forced out of an executive role in a food company and came here and ended up looking at satellite images of the Mojave Desert. And he saw something that nobody else was really paying attention to, which was a massive ancient aquifer sitting under 45,000 acres of land that no one had claimed to reconcile. So he bought it. He bought the land, he bought the water rights with that land, and then he drilled a well and he planted lemons and grapes to establish the legal water rights. And then he built a company around one idea, which was taking the water from that aquifer and selling it to cities around Southern California that were struggling with water. And that company is Cadiz. It trades on the NASDAQ. It is a publicly traded company, and it has been trying to make this happen for 40 years. The ticket on the NASDAQ is CDZI. Every single time that they get stopped, be it by courts, environmental reviews, regulators, they rebrand and they come back. They did this in 2025, and they came back as the Mojave Groundwater Bank. So about 11 days ago, on May 26th, they signed a funding agreement with the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation to advance the project inside the Colorado River framework. And they explicitly named the Coachella Valley as one of their markets. So here's where it really connects to us. The man that Cadiz brought in to make this legally happen is a water attorney named Scott Slater. He is a shareholder at Brownstein Hyatt, Farmers and Schreck, and they market themselves as the nation's leading water firm. He literally wrote the book called Water Law and Policy for California. And it's the treaties that judges refer to and attorneys refer to cite water right cases across California. He's taught water law at UC Santa Barbara, in Australia, in China. He knows every legal framework because he built them. And, he knows every legal mechanism available to move the water throughout the state of California. So from 1997 to 2003, while he was at Brownstein Slater, he was also the lead negotiator of the largest water conservation-based transfer in the United States history. That deal is called the Quantification Settlement Agreement. So the Quantification Settlement Agreement locked in water allocations for the Coachella Valley Water District, Imperial Irrigation District, and the San Diego County Water Authority. It's the legal framework, I cannot talk today, that determines how much Colorado River water that the Coachella Valley Water District controls every day. And here's the important part that I need everybody to really understand, is that of those two California agencies that signed a Quantification Settlement Agreement known as the QSA, which is Slater's deal, Jim Barrett didn't build it, but he inherited it. And he governed it at the board level at both agencies at the same time. Now, he is the general manager for the Coachella Valley Water District. And then in 2010, he moved to the Coachella Valley Water District as the assistant general manager. And in 2013, he became the general manager. For years, he has served as the Coachella Valley Water District's representative on the QSA JPA, which is that body that administers the deals that all of the agencies signed that Slater built. So Barrett has been board level or executive level steward of the Colorado River allocation framework that Slater built continuously for nearly 20 years. And the Coachella Valley Water District Board voted 5-0 in February of 2023 to commit the public water to infrastructure to carry Cadiz's water, Slater's project, through our valley. And I feel like there's so many questions that come from this because his wife is still in San Diego. And I feel like there's probably some other threads involved there that I have to continue to pull. But at the end of the day, BBK in August of 2025 hired 2 former U.S. Bureau of Reclamation staffers. I guess they're called senior officials. So they hired them in August of 2025, an organization that had historically denied funding Cadiz. They hired the 2 of the people that would have been in that department. And now you have 11 days ago, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation just signing that funding deal with them. So you basically have one law firm, every entity in the fight, both sides of almost every deal that we can see so far, and every public agency that controls the water and the permits. And while I can find tons of articles on it, and I don't mean tons, I mean, I can find some articles on it. I feel like this is something that I wasn't prepared for, because if it was presented to me in the manner that it is out in the public domain, before I had done the research to understanding what was going on in our water scenario, I would not have been able to understand any of it. It would have seemed like it was something so irrelevant to us and not how unbelievably impactful it is to all of us. So I don't think it was set up because it's so much information and it's so overwhelming and it's massive that if somebody just stumbles upon it, they're not necessarily going to be equipped to mentally handle the load of overwhelm that comes from it. So here's what we kind of need to do. Since we live in the belly of it, the Coachella Stronghold data center was put onto a moratorium. That fight is not done, so clearly continue to support the community for that. Now we have to move into the city of Desert Hot Springs and the city of Palm Springs, because there seems to be some development happening down the what's called the I-10 corridor on Palm, as well as on Indian Canyon across from Coachella. Fun facts is that Stronghold did the electrical infrastructure work for Coachella and Stronghold Engineering. They also have a few other entity names, and I'll put that in the caption of this video. And it's really important that when we're looking at things development-wise that have the potential to be a data center, especially with the one that is on this Tuesday, which is the 9th Planning Commission hearing for the city of Desert Hot Springs, we did go through 4,800 pages, which is the agenda for this 2 projects. One is very minimally blipped on the screen. The other one is asking for a over 1 million square foot warehouse building that is going to have a lot of water use. The fire department has already said that it has negative impacts on their ability to take care of the community. There was absolutely no water assessment done, and they're asking to use an ecological impact report from 2019. And since then, 3 other warehouses have been built. So why would any of that be okay? In addition to the fact that multiple parcel numbers are incorrect. So there's a separate video that has been made on how to put in your public record request through the next portals. What I want to do is encourage everyone to ask questions. If somebody gives you a verbal answer, that is not a record. You're asking your question by coming up with your question and then what documents would the city have that would answer my question, then ask for them. Sometimes there's some back and forth. You just need to let them know that this is public interest and that you would like a copy of these records. They have 10 days to respond. They can ask for an extension. There's a process for that. And I do explain on how to use the actual next portals for these different cities and for the water district as well. If they don't have a next portal, Palm Springs has a different type of portal, but theirs is embedded right on their website. It's very easy to use and find. And then you can also utilize the emailing the city clerks and letting them know what it is that you would like. So share this information with your community. Be very aware that these people are either on the board level very undereducated, or we have what I believe, which is staff and attorneys on the inside. They're not properly educating the board that we've elected to represent us. And that is a whole larger issue. And just keep trying to get through today. And if you cannot make it to Tuesday night's meeting, please email the City of Desert Hot Springs. You can go to our Facebook page and see a breakdown synopsis of the issues that we were able to find on the face of this and why my opinion is that this was set up to be approved and not reviewed, if that makes sense.